Naruto. Masashi Kishimoto is obviously the creator, but that's not quite what I mean. If you dig around the Naruto community long enough, you'll find claims suggesting that much of its success is due to its first editor, Kosuke Yahagi, not Kishimoto. Normally, this would be hard to discern.
How do you say Kosuke? Isn't it Kosuke? I thought the keys was always pronounced K. I don't know.
For any given manga, but in
Sasuke,
this case, we have more
Yasuke,
insight than you might expect,
you know what I'm saying?
and it turns out that these claims do hold some weight. I have navigated a minefield of
Let
misinformation,
me find out about this nigga though.
hopefully
What's up?
successfully, to investigate this. I'll give you some of Naruto's behind-the-scenes details, and we'll try to figure out the extent
I'm always
of
hearing about the
Yahagi's
editor when it
influence.
comes to Kishimoto, but they don't want to start citing editors when they make decisions for other mangaka. You know what I'm saying? The editors, that's their job. That's their job. You know what I'm saying? Kira Toriyama, rest in peace. I know he was forgetting all the time, so his editors had to save stuff during Dragon Ball Z. Like he just forget.
What I'm really asking is, who made Naruto successful?
I don't know,
Or
Igimoto
even,
and
did
Kishimoto's
Yahagi
alive,
save
so.
Naruto? Let's dive in.
Spoilers for Naruto is crazy. Like,
We'll
so
take a
not
brief
20
look at
years
Kishimoto's childhood, since the story's earliest concepts stem from it. Naruto's upbringing is just an exaggeration of Kishimoto's childhood feelings of inferiority. He often felt like an underdog, always on the outskirts, not
Rest in
very
peace
good
to
at
the editor.
academics or sports. He
Whoever
even
it
grew
is,
to
I don't know
dislike
who it is,
people who were
unfortunately.
too perfect. His hometown itself was an inspiration for the Hidden Leaf Village. Being right next to a Japanese self-defense force base led to ideas like the four-man
Gang.
being right
They have anime decals on their military ships, and well, not ships. This is a plane, but you get what I'm saying, like on their military equipment. That is crazy as. This is literally Call of Duty. That's actually Call of Duty. I did not know that niggas actually put decals on their. That's cold as hell.
right next to a Japanese self-defense force base led to ideas like the four-man cell
I ain't
and
gonna lie.
special forces. Like most mangaka, Kishimoto began drawing
Bro,
and watching
I'm not gonna lie. Anime and like the fact that Japanese people have such cool shit in Japan, their PR has saved them from being known as like some of the worst people of all time. Like, if you do your research on some Japanese shit, bro, you're gonna find a lot of like bad things. You're gonna find a lot of bad things, bro. I mean, you're gonna find that with hella countries, but it's like Japan's PR team did overtime to repair their image across the world, bro. We get into some shit the Japanese people did, man. It get real. Yo, it get real crazy, bro.
anime and considering a career in manga at a very young age, but he lacked support or encouragement from parents and friends. He still couldn't deny that he had some level of skill when it came to drawing. He's starting to sound a bit like Naruto, but there is one big difference that also impacts his relationship with his editor. As a child, I was very obedient. I never challenged the authority of adults, whether that of my parents or teachers. Their words had the value of truth, and I didn't ask myself any questions. He went on to Kyushu Sangyo University and studied art, still pursuing the goal of mangaka. As Kishimoto grew up, these
The best
three
artist in the
series
big
heavily
three, bro.
inspired his
The
drawing
best
style.
artist in the
He
big
studied
three.
all of them very thoroughly during his university years. Dragon Ball had the earliest impact. To him, Toriyama
Shout out
was a master
Toriyama,
of
man.
graphic effects. Disproportionate, unrealistic bodies, yet everything's under control. Perspectives are correct, very detailed line work. He next discovered Akira. Otomo is a master of cutting, rhythm, and framing. He goes crazy with perspective, and Kishimoto is the best at drawing with the camera position in mind. This work has had a lasting impact on him.
Yo, I've never seen Akira, bro, but this meme is so fucking hilarious, bro.
To the point where Kishimoto still refers to it as an unsurpassable work. Blade of the Immortal is a newer one. Samura is a master of battle, someone who can draw tough fight scenes in awkward places, like long corridors, while still making it easy to understand what's going on. This was also Kishimoto's guide on how to draw hands. And Kakashi is Magatsu.
Yo, do you know his name?
While Iruka is Manji. From year 2 of uni onwards, Kishimoto started submitting work to manga contests. Kishimoto's big break would be the one-shot Karakuri,
Ew, that's Sasuke?
manga contests.
Ew! Are these the Uchiha? Ew, Osamu Kobayashi? Rest in peace, Osamu Kobayashi, man. Appreciate your work on Naruto. I'm gonna have to do my research on you. But appreciate you. Thank you. Because if you're one of the editors, man, you created my favorite series of all time. Or you helped create my favorite series of all time. But, yo, is this the Uchiha gang? Like, yo, this might be the first draft of Sasuke. This nigga ugly as shit.
Big break would be the one-shot Karakuri, which won him Weekly Shonen Jump's Hopstep Award. The reworked version of Karakuri follows a boy dressed much like Sasuke named Kiru.
That's all Sasuke drip.
Deals with the threat of what are basically evil cyborgs. Oh, and they all have animal assistants who fight with them. I'll leave it here, but there's a very specific reason why it's called Karakuri, which you learn during the climax. This award was how Kishimoto and Yahagi would meet.
Okay.
The morning the winner of that award was announced, 21-year-old Kishimoto rushes to the convenience store. He immediately buys the new issue of Jump, sees his name in it, then throws the magazine across the street. He did pick it up though, he's not savage. Yahagi would soon call him. Kishimoto accidentally hangs up the phone on him, but the editor calls back and asks, "Are you ready to try this professionally?" From that moment on, Kosuke Yahagi was officially Kishimoto's editor. So, the reality of the situation is that Kishimoto was officially Kishimoto's editor. So
somehow this fight's the most underrated fight in Naruto. Somehow people have the Kakashi and Obito fight over this. This fight, look, bro. The first time I seen this fight, I could not bring myself to watch this episode because it was the end of my childhood. I was like 15. I was like 16. When I finally got around to watching this episode, bro, I cried. Everything about this fight, from the action, the choreography, the battle IQ, nigga, this is one of the best fights in anime history. Like, I don't think people understand how crazy this fight was from, like, every standpoint. You got the backstory, the drama, the impact. This fight means everything. This not no normal Naruto versus... This fight, nigga, this fight defined generations. Literally. If Sasuke won this fight, there would be no Boruto. There would be no advancements in peace, nigga. It would just be a dictatorship and the cycle would continue. This fight literally defined the entire show. Like, oh my god, this is such an underrated fight in anime history.
The reality of the situation is that Kishimoto and Yahagi were both just young rookies at first. The editor did have about 2 to 3 years of experience at Jump though, we can't discount that. He was about 25, about 3 years older than Kishimoto. Neither of them knew exactly what they were doing, but that didn't stop Kishimoto from thinking that Jump editors were these pros who knew everything about manga. Yahagi had confidence in his abilities and could make big decisions at crucial moments. Kishimoto, on the other hand, confidence in his ability.
JJK fans, I'm a JJK fan. There is no fight in this show that, like, the animation is obviously better, as it should be. It's 2024 game. But there's no fight in this show better than any fight in Naruto. I'm just keeping the buck. I'm talking about, like, any of the main fight. I'm not talking about some miscellaneous shit, but like there's, like, really no fight better than any fight in Naruto. And honestly, when we get to the Culling Game arc, or we get to, like, you know what I'm saying, I forget the arc name, but we get to, like, the next arc after the Culling Game, we probably gonna see some better fights. But there's no fight in this show that's better than any Naruto fight that's animated. I can't get into spoilers. Because there is one, but I can't say that.
Abilities
it's a manga spoiler, so I can't say it.
Crucial moments. Kishimoto, on the other hand, struggled with planning.
Also, JJK verse does not scale to Naruto verse, bro. I'm sorry.
Criticisms. To a rookie manga artist, an editor is like the guard to the gates of hell. You think stuff like, if he hates me, my whole life will be ruined. What was Yahagi's initial impression of Kishimoto? Compared to others at the time, his art was strong. It had style, but it was also really dark. His characters always had lines under their eyes. At the time, I remember thinking, why is it like this? What a waste. But then I realized that it was something fresh. Here's the road to Naruto in a nutshell. Note that Kishimoto was living in Kyushu at this time, still attending university. The Slice of Life project Wandering Detour. This isn't shonen magazine material. The Ghostbusters-like manga Asian Punk. Resoundingly rejected at every turn. Some alternate version of Karakuri Kishimoto doesn't really elaborate on. I don't understand it at all. Pause. This time, I lost my eagerness. I became quite depressed, in fact. Reality is harsh. Then one day, I received a letter from Mr. Yahagi. When I examined it, I realized it contained 2 full pages of pointers about how to draw manga and other advice. And when I got to the end of that letter, my eyes started welling a bit with tears. Here's what it said. You do have talent. Please keep trying. I had been depressed, but it renewed my determination. Back on the grind. This time,
my goal had to lock in.
Visited Kishimoto in person to go through the next work. The outcome. This isn't really manga. A cycle of mild depression followed by renewed motivation continued thanks to that letter he'd regularly reread. Kishimoto had now finished school and still gotten nowhere. It was time to go back to the basics and restudy manga. Shortly after starting this, Kishimoto got the opportunity to put out a one-shot in the magazine Akamaru Jump. The one-shot version of Naruto debuted here in summer 1997.
My goat. My goat. Listen, people have their criticism of Naruto. Valid, some not valid. But real shit, gang, there is no character like Naruto. There just isn't. He's up there as one of them ones. There is no character that has the impact Naruto has that's not named Son Goku. I'm just keeping it in the buck. That's a literal fact. That's a literal fact. Don't talk to me about no fucking One Piece, nigga. Don't talk to me about no damn Ichigo. Don't talk to me about none of that. In respect to Bleach and respect to One Piece, but like, they ain't got it, bro. And it's just like some niggas got it and some niggas don't. That just is what it is, bro. And you gotta live with that. If you got it, you got it. If you don't make it work. One Piece, the best selling manga of all time. That's what it has.
While they work a bit differently, concepts like a fox demon and transformation techniques were present. It revolves around Naruto's quest to make his first friend,
I forgot his name.
Which he ends up getting framed for murder. There is supposedly an even earlier version of Naruto that was developed. According to the Kishimoto Fuji TV special, it was a story about a boy who regularly visits a ramen shop run by an old guy. It focused on the two straightening out their lives and would be a more emotional story. His editor did not approve and said something along the lines of, "You're way off. You don't understand manga." The mission continues. A sports manga, Baseball King. It's interesting, but I think it's a bit dark. But I didn't know you could write this style of manga. You've improved. The Mafia manga Mario, tough. Also very seinen. This one eventually got published in 2013. Back to shonen with the fantasy work Magic Mushroom. Pause again. Yahagi decided to make some incredibly important decisions here. He told Kishimoto to stop making one-shots and focus on making storyboards for serialization. Oh yeah, didn't Samurai 8 just now like come out recently? Or am I tweaking? I've heard about Samurai 8 though. I think it's getting an anime, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. I haven't really known if it's good or not. To stop making one-shots and focus on making storyboards for serialization. The editor thought that Mario was good. He knew Kishimoto had the skill to just go for it now. Together, they reworked Naruto, storyboarded the first 3 chapters, and submitted the work for a serialization meeting. Naruto managed to win while competing with 2 other ninja mangas. Kishimoto moved to Tokyo, and the two got busy refining the series. A particular manga-editor dynamic has now developed between these two. The way not hyping up my series dynamic seems to work. Yo, he gotta make it sound epic. He gotta make it sound like grandiose. You know what I'm saying? This is the beginning of a life-altering historical moment, my nigga. This is one of them ones, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, Attack on Titan. Like, it's one of them ones, bro. Like, I need to feel that. Just like LeBron joining the league. Kishimoto will make something. Then, Yahagi will look at it and give suggestions. A lot of suggestions, at least at the beginning. Then, Kishimoto obediently follows that advice. Or, in rare cases, they argue until Yahagi eventually gets his way. These are bold claims. Here's my justification. We know that before Naruto started serialization, our duo had about 8 chapters figured out and revised countless times. These are really important since Jump tends to cancel a series if it isn't doing well within its first 10 chapters. Yahagi-san told me to focus on the main character in the first 2 chapters, and then to use chapter 3 onward to establish a rival and heroine and create a love triangle relationship between the characters. Yeah, the idea was like, he wasn't planning on adding Sasuke, he wasn't planning to have Sakura, and people are trying to say like that this dude created the show because how important Sasuke and Sakura are to the series. But at the end of the day, bro, like Kishimoto had to create these characters. Just because he didn't have the idea to create the character. It's like, yeah, I gave you the idea to do it, but at the end of the day, like, you wrote the character, you made the character, like, Sasuke is who Sasuke is because of, like, you got help, obviously, but you ultimately made Sasuke. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like, the editor job did what they job. They did their job, bro. I don't know why people try to act like Kishimoto ain't had no type of influence on this show. I'm not good with female characters, so I wasn't planning on this initially.
Yeah, we know that.
But once I established the triangle, it became a lot easier to create
the anime cooked
Sakura
Sakura though.
I was surprised by
She
how
way
good that
different in the
advice
manga.
was. And that's why I tend to listen to what he tells me. Now what happens if Kishimoto disagrees with something that Yahagi strongly believes in? One time, he argued with me for 6 hours to convince me to take his advice. He's very persuasive, so sometimes I have no choice. Kishimoto attributes many of their conflicts to the fact that Yahagi actually has some sort of an art background. I have to have a meeting after I finish my storyboard as well. Before, when I would draw based on only my own vision, it would be different from Yahagi-san's and you wouldn't okay it. Because he can draw, he can envision the whole scene by himself. So it was normal for us to take time to align our visions. This is how Kishimoto's chain of ideas developed. Naruto came first, and with him came the theme of the search for acceptance. Then I needed someone who would accept him, and that person became Iruka. As the setting came together, I decided the village needed a leader, and created the Hokage. And I needed a teacher for Naruto, so I created Kakashi. But the idea of Sasuke didn't occur to him at all. I started drawing the manga without Sasuke, but the story didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know about this
thought,
quote.
if I don't do something, the manga will be over in 10 weeks. This was when Yahagi suggested giving Naruto a rival. It's very strange that this did not occur to Kishimoto considering how common the rival character is in shonen works. But I think he would have figured it out eventually. Whether Naruto would have gotten cancelled before he figured it out is a different story. After a bit of guidance on the rivalry idea, it all clicked together for Kishimoto. He took the reins and developed guidance on the rivalry.
Listen, first of all, wow. Bro, Naruto, like, doesn't even work without Sasuke. I seriously don't understand how he did not piece together. Like I said, bro, I'm gonna give him the benefit, or not like I said, but like he said, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that Kishimoto would have eventually figured out, like, yeah, let me add another character. Let me add somebody to push Naruto. But the fact that he didn't initially have that is kind of alarming. It is crazy. So shout out to the editor that told him to, make a rival. You know what I'm saying? Because Sasuke is so important to the plot of the story. Like, Sasuke is one of the best. This is one of the best rival stories of all time. Literally, it's one of the best rival stories of all time in all shonen. And we almost never got Sasuke. Like, can you imagine the world without Sasuke Uchiha? Like, what would Naruto even be?
Idea, it all clicked together for Kishimoto. He took the reins and developed Sasuke based on his twin brother, Seishi Kishimoto.
Huh? This nigga has a twin? What? How did I know this?
Actually a mangaka himself. To him,
he got a twin brother?
Love and friendship were the same thing.
That's
Sasuke
crazy.
Is Naruto's rival. Sasuke
bro,
is
don't let her lie to you,
opposite.
chat. She loves
this
that nigga Sasuke.
Became a
she
mantra
loves Sasuke.
For Kishimoto.
That's like her favorite character.
A variety of manga to really formulate his understanding of what makes a rival.
I did not know Kishimoto had a twin brother.
Kishimoto decided that the end of the series would feature a fight between Naruto and Sasuke. Next comes the other unplanned character, Sakura. Kishimoto believes he cannot draw good heroines, and the best he could do was a girl who cannot understand men. Regardless, Kishimoto grew fond of Sakura, believing her relatable traits made her feel human. Someone who's kind of irritating, but also well-intentioned. Unfortunately, that was all he ever intended this character to be. He was once asked if there were some secrets about Sakura's past we have yet to learn. She's a normal girl, so I haven't given it much thought. Yahagi generally likes Kishimoto's character designs, but his one main complaint was about the eyes. I was told by Yahagi-san that putting shadows under the protagonist's eyes is not shonen-like when he took me in at first. I also received the advice, make the protagonist's eyes single-lidded, and make the rival's eyes double-lidded. In general, the development of jutsus is a collaborative effort between mangaka and editor, especially for the more abstract of jutsu.
They used to have to do so many damn hand signs when they first started doing jutsus in Naruto. They literally do like one hand sign now. Like, you're weak as fuck and you have to do all these hand signs for a singular jutsu. We've come such a long way.
Is a collaborative effort between mangaka and editor, especially for the more abstract or complicated ones like the Izanami. The starting point was the standard Henge no Jutsu. From there, the team got Kage Bunshin no Jutsu and Oiroke no Jutsu. Then you keep amping it up from there. When I proposed the Harem no Jutsu, nobody listened to me at first. Yeah, keep fighting for what's important, Kishimoto. Generally, characters are designed first, and the jutsu is developed for
comic artists be the freakiest niggas on the planet.
As the first 8 chapters were, things already started to unravel by the time Zabuza was introduced. Kishimoto's
Yeah,
focus
this was the
was on
series
making the story
changed.
feel exciting and suspenseful. He wanted readers to think that the world was powerful. Unfortunately,
We need
this
to
came at the
reanimate
cost of leaving
episodes,
important
Studio
story
Period.
concepts underdeveloped. According to the Fuji TV special, this includes the Sharingan and the Kekkei Genkai. These were thrown in without really thinking about how they would be used in the future. The Sharingan takes inspiration from an old Japanese folktale, The Tale of the Gallant Jiraiya, where the folktale version of Jiraiya from an old Japanese folktale, The Tale of the Gallant Jiraiya.
Man. What an episode, man. Fuck, what an episode.
Where the folktale version of Jiraiya had a similar eye power. Yahagi did have to clean up the jutsu names before we got to this point. To him, they were all over the place, had lame names.
Nah, I gotta put that at it, bro. I gotta put that at it.
Oh, that's right. What should I name the sequel? I wonder. Let's see. The Tale of Naruto Uzumaki.
Man. Fuck, man. Nah, we gotta play that again.
That's right. What should I name the sequel?
Man, this is, bro, I'm telling y'all, this is one of the best fights in anime history. This is one of the best fights of all time, bro. I'm not even gassing it, bro. You can call me a glazer. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. I know, bro. You know, it don't hit the same when you ain't grow up with this shit, but this shit is crazy.
Let's see.
But I wish I can go back and watch Naruto for the first time in real time as it was airing. How the fuck he get this shit so clear, bro? Man, shout out my nigga Naruto, shout out my nigga Jiraiya.
Cohesiveness. I felt that at the beginning of the story, it was better to have jutsu names that weren't too varied. Creating settings like the Sharingan or Kekkei Genkai, which would lead to the current developments, helped solidify the foundation. Sasuke's backstory wasn't very developed either. Kishimoto just knew he would have an older brother and that he had done something bad. Though to his credit, by the time we see this in chapter 16, he already decided that Obito would be an Uchiha, and that Minato would be Naruto's father. I thought it was necessary, so I made sure to include the 4th Hokage's face on the mountain. Kishimoto knew he'd have to eventually reveal what happened to Minato, but for now, he was completely lost on how to go about it. Since Karakuri, Kishimoto had a habit of using talking animals as prominent characters. He originally intended the 4th Hokage's face on that mountain to be a dog named Kiba. It didn't seem strange since there are ninja dogs in Naruto. Why couldn't a dog become Hokage? Yahagi's reaction was along the lines of, "Did you lose your way at this point?" Kishimoto ran a fever through much of the Zabuza arc, which made the whole thing an even bigger struggle. Enter Mikio Ikimoto with the assist. This artist of Boruto. Ikimoto relieved some of this struggle by taking on the designs of Zabuza, Haku, and the 3rd Hokage's battle outfit, which was especially helpful since Kishimoto was also working on the designs for the Chunin exam characters at this time.
People don't know that.
Kishimoto originally made Haku a bear. Coming back to these Chunin exam characters, Kishimoto was having a hard time with these because he didn't intend to do this arc in the first place.
Say, yo, he lying, bro. Ain't no way. What? Huh? What? Yo, nah, this nigga chatting, bro.
What he wanted to do was have Naruto go on missions outside Konoha and meet other 4-man cells from other villages in the process. Yahagi
this nigga think he Hunter, bro.
We don't have time to waste. Let's introduce the characters all at once and do a tournament. Kishimoto really didn't want to do this, but Yahagi clearly won that debate. Kishimoto even asked his editor
one of the greatest tournament arcs of all
at one point, and in response, Yahagi drew Lee's draft design. He told me to watch old Jackie Chan movies and create characters like that, and some really weird drawings came back. Those guys became Guy and Lee. Out of all these new guys, I think Shikamaru might have become a character that Kishimoto's very fond of. He might even be his ideal person. I had trouble
one of my favorite characters in the show.
A lot of effort effort and time to make such complex plans and procedures. In the manga, Shikamaru can come up with them in an instant. It seems that you can really see his intellect. Plus, out of all the characters in Naruto, Shikamaru is the one he would date. We see our second tailed beast in this arc. The entire story of these tailed beasts started out as a simple...
Why
we see our second tailed beast in this arc. The entire...
Fuck, bro. Fuck, bro. Why he put my nigga in here, bro? I just got over that shit, man. Fuck.
The entire story of these tailed beasts started out as a simple way for me to get the fox into my manga. I loved Godzilla. I just wanted to draw a monster, something big I could place in a battle. That's why I decided to introduce the Kuchi-Yosei no Jutsu, the summoning skill that lets a ninja call forth the weapons they need, or call a creature to their side to aid them in a fight. Here's a little blurb on all of them. Gaara took a long time for both Yahagi and Kishimoto to develop. His original idea looked like this. A 7-year-old named Kumaru who resorted to drug abuse to push his physical capabilities beyond natural limits.
That's not funny.
Yahagi came up with the name Gaara, keeping in mind he was supposed to be a foil for Naruto. But the kanji for love that's on his forehead was Kishimoto's addition, which does actually appear in the name Gaara. In shonen magazines, the enemy is supposed to embody a form of absolute evil. However, other series already do that, and I didn't want Naruto to follow that pattern. Rather than focusing on describing the enemy, their power, and their actions, I preferred to detail the circumstances of their birth and their transformation into a monster. Kishimoto eventually started to enjoy writing this arc. Things were looking good for the short term, and he'd even decided that Shikamaru was going to win the whole thing. Yahagi had other plans. Even though the Chunin exam was quite popular, my editor said, it would be boring to just decide the winner like this, so let's destroy the tournament. And that's how the Konoha Crush happened. This is why Orochimaru was introduced where he is. You've probably put together that Jiraiya was inspired from the same character in the folktale, Tales of the Gallant Jiraiya. But Orochimaru and Tsunade are actually from the same story.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, gang. This nigga Yahiki is cooking. It's like, I'm not gonna go as far as to say like, oh yeah, Kishimoto didn't write Naruto, or like he didn't create Naruto, like he didn't really make Naruto. But yo, it's like, some of the nigga best ideas came from this nigga Yahiki. Like, yo, what do you mean the Konoha like attack wasn't you, gang? Like what?
The idea of Jiraiya and Tsunade versus Orochimaru,
my idea of reality is breaking.
Snake thing is in the folktale, except it's snake, toad, and slug magic in a rock, paper, scissors type of thing. While it isn't the most exciting arc, I remember feeling a noticeable increase in the quality of writing with the search for Tsunade. It seems like Kishimoto was starting to get the hang of things.
Kishimoto main art style not even from himself though, it changed because the anime changed.
It would be fine even with a new editor. By that time, the story...
He might not just be the nigga that starts the idea. He might just be like... He might be the guy... Kishimoto might be the guy that like he need to have a launch pad and then you just let him do his thing. That's what I'm seeing, like, cause obviously the dude ain't write the tuning exams. He ain't make the arcs what they are. But he helped make it what it is by giving you the pivotal idea. Like he get like, yo, as soon as you was about to pivot off to another place, he said, hey, nah, here's what we gonna do. And then you did it, and you found a way to like work with it in your way. That's what I'm seeing. Same with your art style, right? I forget the dude that Kishimoto was like, oh, this dude makes Naruto look better than I do from the anime. Whoever was drawing the anime. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna make that the manga art style, and that's what it became. And now it's like Naruto manga art style is like really, really good. I think the other person I fuck with for real is like obviously Akira Toriyama later down. I don't like early Dragon Ball art, but later down the line I fuck with it. And then what's it called? Some early Gege Akutami stuff.
Seemed to be getting a bit better at planning ahead too.
Well, not early,
by the
but
time
like
Itachi made his debut, it was already decided that he would secretly be a good guy. He would only commit horrific acts due to the circumstances he was put in. From the Sasuke recovery arc onwards, the amount of info regarding Yahagi's input decreases significantly. Based on earlier comments, this could mean that Kishimoto was making more decisions that he agreed with, but this is just speculation. I mentioned before that Kishimoto wanted to end the series with a battle between Naruto and Sasuke. I later decided on the details, little by little, such as whether they would fight each other as friends or enemies, their feelings and dialogues, while I was drawing the series. It seems likely that a number of these details were developed during this arc. He refers to these scenes as the conversation of Naruto and Sasuke's friendship. That brings us to the intermission between part 1 and 2, Kakashi Gaiden. When introducing the Sharingan, Kishimoto left it a mystery as to why Kakashi had it, even though he isn't an Uchiha. He had elements of the storyline decided from chapter 16. One final but important thing before part 2. Kishimoto draws action pretty well, and this definitely influenced Naruto's success. I have an easier time understanding what's going on in these battles than with a lot of other manga. Even Kishimoto's longtime rival, Eiichiro Oda, is impressed by it. Kishimoto likes anime, which is why you get all of these effects you've never seen before in manga. His style of expression is incredible. He's also really good at making characters seem grounded, which is especially challenging with the tailed beasts. It sounds obvious, but it's harder to achieve than it looks. You have to know exactly where the body center of gravity is.
I think that's why people forget how strong these characters are, because they don't seem like they're super strong. They don't seem like they could possibly be like FTL or anything like that. But a lot of these niggas are stronger than you think. That's all I ask.
Like if someone raised their
it's
shoulders,
not the strongest verse,
how does
obviously,
that affect the position of their hips and so on? That's why when you look at Naruto, even just the way he stands, he seems solid. Oda said it best. A lot of this comes from Kishimoto being a mangaka who studies anime, a habit that formed thanks to the film Akira. The fisheye lens shot of Deidara sitting on Gaara, a triple shot often seen in Jackie Chan movies, the cityscape view with pain, whatever this is. You really don't have to think about the lens or the shot, but I would like to consider things like distance, wide shots, and depth of field when drawing. But readers don't really notice that. So as a comic artist with a weekly serialization, it's pretty much wasted effort.
He did this weekly, bro. Crazy shit.
Kishimoto mentions that he has the ending of Naruto perfectly visualized. I've already decided on the layout, text, and scenes. Not just the story ideas, but the visual ideas are solid. A time skip was put in place to assist in making the cast stronger, especially considering what they'd have to go up against soon. Kishimoto took this opportunity to modify the character's clothes to better suit fight scenes. Naruto, for instance, lost the thick collar to make his face more visible. He also got a headband with long tail so that it flutters and stands out during action. The story from this point on kind of feels like a return to Kishimoto's original idea for Naruto, only this time we have the Akatsuki in full focus. Each
the fuck? Oh my god, yo, please. No, why he say Akatsuki? It's just the Akatsuki. Why do people do that? Oh, fuck.
member has their own hidden motives, which are even intertwined at times, which is crazy because Kishimoto's original plan for these guys was to be a group of monsters without human characteristics, basically just 10 Zetsus. In the real world, there are companies that hire mercenaries and take on private wars. I wanted to depict that. I thought if I created a leader to organize them, charisma would naturally emerge. So I decided to make a character out of that. That's Pain. Kishimoto claimed that Hidan was actually his favorite Akatsuki on the Fuji TV special. Something about him being like immortal and his masochistic tendencies was just really appealing. He was having a lot of fun with the Hidan Kakuzu fight, which even got a bit dark near the end for the typical shonen. At least back then. Kishimoto actually brought this up to Yahagi. We got a minor smoking, which seems to go against manga regulations, and a decapitation scene. His editor said to just go with it and try to get it through the higher-ups. By the way, Kishimoto confirmed that Hidan is still buried underground by the final arc of the manga. He could have put him in the war, but didn't want more characters.
By the way, he's dead. He is currently not there in Boruto
To worry about.
That's a commonly asked question.
Probably the peak of part 2. I think this further exemplifies the aspect of Naruto Kishimoto seems to understand best. The rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke. I'll let Kishimoto explain what he was trying to do. Naruto is an orphan from birth, while Sasuke still has parents. Sasuke suffers from their presence before discovering that when they die, that he suffers much more because of their disappearance. That's where the difference between these two become more apparent. Sasuke criticizes the latter for his inability to understand the pain of mourning, because Naruto has never known the love of a child for a parent. And it's true that Naruto doesn't understand. It isn't until he forms a close bond with Jiraiya, who takes the role of a foster father before dying, that Naruto starts to understand what losing family feels like. But he experiences this too late. That Naruto starts to understand what losing family feels like, but he experiences.
What's that nigga name? The dude. Bro, I swear to God, I don't know why I do this. The dude Shikamaru fought. He's dead. The one that was praying to Joshine, I forget his name, bro. I literally just heard it and I'm blanking on his name for some odd reason. But yeah, bro, he's not alive in Boruto.
Is this too late to be able to communicate with Sasuke? Kishimoto then contrasts Sasuke's reaction to Itachi's death to Naruto's reaction when learning about Jiraiya, then confronting Pain.
They died back to back, my nigga. Like, that was crazy, especially in the anime.
Naruto doesn't let himself be controlled by hatred, while Sasuke does. I developed this opposition in stages and wanted to take the reader by surprise. Naruto at first seems very emotional and instinctive, and Sasuke cold, calculating, and thoughtful. But time shows that appearances are deceptive, that the emotional and the thoughtful are not what we imagined. The Pain arc was difficult for Kishimoto for this very reason. This is the first time Naruto really has to put in effort to forgive the enemy, and somehow concluding the confrontation through talking while making it seem natural is quite the challenge. To be completely honest, overcoming trauma like Naruto does seem a bit naive and idealistic to me, but I believe that this kind of utopia must exist and be defended in shonen. The genre must above all be a bearer of hope. Yahagi definitely did play a role here. At the beginning of the series with Pain, it took a long time until we decided that it would end with a discussion. I thought about it while I was drawing an action scene, but still, Pain isn't docile like that. I couldn't influence him that way as simply as I'd thought. Yahagi left Naruto after the chapter where Sasuke awakens the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Okay.
It's very likely that his influence remained for the rest of.
So wait. This nigga, I know he about to say that his influence was there, but shit. It seemed like Kishimoto was really cooking up by himself after, the Mangekyo Sharingan. I'm not gonna lie, people have their questions and their doubts about the fourth grade Ninja War arc because what happened with Madara. But I mean, bro, I don't think there was anything else to do with Madara. I think he served his purpose. I think he narratively, you may not like it, but I think narratively it made sense. The only thing I'll say this nigga missed on is Kaguya. I feel like Kaguya should have had more build-up.
Naruto. From this point on, we get to see how well Kishimoto can execute ideas without Yahagi, though keep in mind that he's no longer a rookie either. The first taste of this was with how Kishimoto developed Killer Bee. In his mind, this character may not have even made the cut if his old editor was still around. Though Yahagi disagrees. I love that character, technique names included. However, every time I think about that speech, I think that it's difficult. But that's okay, he's glad Eight Tails was around to explain it all. The new Naruto editor would be Joe Otsuki, who I don't know much about, though he did appear at a New York Comic Con 2015 panel. The most valuable Otsuki insight from this panel was the answer to the question, what makes a hit manga? Certainly an important thing is very appealing and attractive characters. But if we really knew the secrets of making hit manga, you wouldn't need us, I might not have a job. It might not necessarily be a bad thing that we truly don't know. By 2010, Kishimoto has a decade of experience, is now married, and has kids. He wanted to portray his experiences of parenthood through the series. This was what inspired the scene where Naruto meets his mother, near the beginning of the war.
Very special
He wanted
scene,
him to
man.
understand parental love. The Fourth Shinobi World War is probably the most controversial part of the series. This is an arc that Kishimoto wanted, and he applied the teachings of his grandfather who went through war himself. I was trying to let them experience a war once and then come up with an answer. Well, because of that, I felt like I couldn't escape from depicting the war. I thought I had to draw it, and various things that I hadn't been able to do unexpectedly, I wanted to wrap them all up here. The Mifune and Hanzo fight was one of them, the obligatory old man versus old man fight every traditional shonen needs. Though when talking about it in the Fuji TV special, Kishimoto seems very aware that young readers probably didn't care about this, and he should have really gotten Naruto out there as quickly as possible. The second Mizukage is there, Kishimoto just thought
I do feel like, especially in anime, there is a lot of like, where's Naruto? What's Naruto doing? I don't care about these miscellaneous characters fighting. But more so than like, where's Naruto? I feel like that's an issue of him not developing the characters properly. Like, we don't need to see Naruto in every fight. It's cool if we see two old characters fight, but you gotta hype them up to like crazy proportions. You gotta set it up to be some crazy shit. I feel like a lot of anime does that, where they make the other characters seem so mythical that when they get into a fight, you really want to see the fight. And Kishimoto don't be doing that.
interesting if there was a character that told you how to defeat him.
He got better
and
though.
wanted to be
Boruto
defeated
definitely
quickly.
be doing that.
The use of the Edo Tensei though was interesting. This was Kishimoto's solution to dealing with Naruto after the Pain arc. Naruto could no longer just defeat, beat up, or kill an opponent to resolve things. Since I had already done something you usually shouldn't do in a shonen manga by ending conflicts through dialogue, from then on, any enemies he fought had to be entities like zombies, things that weren't truly alive. That way, he could defeat them without crossing that line. This is also why we have Zetsu clones around. He once again shows solid comprehension of this rivalry thing by not bringing back Jiraiya through Edo Tensei. He says doing so would have undone the part of Naruto's development that brought him closer to understanding Sasuke. And of course, the Edo Tensei was meant to be the hook that would draw Madara out. During the Fuji TV special, Kishimoto was straight up asked why Neji had to die. I had decided on Hinata as the heroine a long time ago, so I wanted elements that would bring Naruto and Hinata closer. Because of that, Neji ended up being, well, you could say, a trigger. That's right, as sort of a cupid to bring Naruto and Hinata together.
My nigga died the worst way possible just so these niggas can get together. But that never happened. That never needed to happen. Wait, that's true. Either powerful characters hype him up or the characters that suck hate on him. Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know. Kishimoto gotta get better at writing that shit. But in Boruto, I think he did get better. Because he's writing Boruto. And I feel like certain characters are definitely hyped up. Like Code and shit. Yeah, man. My boy Neji did not need to die to make Hinata and Naruto get together. That was the dumbest shit ever. That was really the dumbest shit ever. Why couldn't Neji actually live, bro? You could have just made them get together in some other way. Like, damn, bro.
This is also when Kishimoto came up with the name Bolt.
Yeah!
Bolt, and is a reference to Neji, which means screw. By the way, every confirmed fake interview I found revolves around spreading misinformation about this love rectangle. I guess anime fans will always be insane when it comes to shipping. Kaguya. I don't even know, man. In 2008, Kishimoto said this: Madara being the final villain is yet to be seen, and I can't let that
Neji never lived up to his potential.
Yet, but he
none of the side characters did.
As a final villain, that's for sure. That's all I got.
None of the side characters
did. Final
did.
Fight. Despite hitting the rivalry angle well, Kishimoto admits that he still had trouble with Sasuke all the way through the series. But he did know that Sasuke had to reach this vision that's been in his mind for years. At the end, I really didn't want it to be some battle between men resolved with ninja techniques or something like that. I wanted it to be more of a direct confrontation, where they're gradually exhausted and end up just punching each other. That's what I consider youth in Jump. He had them each lose their dominant arms so that they could no longer form the Seal of Reconciliation. It didn't feel like the right approach for these two. So, the Seal of Reconciliation, which represents Indra and Ashura's conflict, is symbolized by the overlapping hands of Madara and Hashirama. For completeness, I need to mention these two movies. For the last Naruto the movie, Kishimoto was in a supervising role. He did not write for this. For Boruto,
unfortunately,
Naruto the movie, Kishimoto was involved in and led every step of the screenplay writing process. Make of that what you will. Kishimoto went on to write the sci-fi samurai series he'd been wanting to since university, Samurai 8. I guess that can behave as an example of what Kishimoto can do with absolutely no involvement from Yahagi. So that's the gist of it. What do you think?
Boruto is severely underrated. I think the movie was really good. It was cool. It wasn't nothing like crazy. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I think yeah, bro, I think he's cooking in Boruto. I don't think Boruto's had a bad chapter yet. And it's been like 2 years since he started writing Boruto again, and that nigga has not missed. Kishimoto has not missed. So, what I make of this, right? I think the editor was cooking. He made a lot of important decisions that ultimately ended up making Naruto what it is. And I think Naruto would not be where it's at without Yahagi. However, I will also say that Kishimoto himself is the one who implemented those ideas in a way that I'm not sure how many people could have implemented those ideas the same way he did. Because yeah, he didn't have those ideas at first, but who wrote the story? Who made the characters the characters? I feel like the biggest miss with Kishimoto that he's trying to correct with Boruto is the fact that he did not develop any of the side characters properly. That's probably like the only thing, like Rock Lee. And a big argument to defend those, like that take about the side characters not being developed properly, is like they all serve their purpose, but at the same time it's like they served one function. That don't mean that they don't have any other function to serve. Like Rock Lee, obviously he reached the max potential he could have had, but characters like Tenten Ino and Shikamaru and all these other characters, like Neji especially, they probably could have done more stuff, or it would just been cool to have side novels or, you know, different series, especially in between Boruto and Naruto Shippuden, where we can see different characters have their own guidance series. Like Kakashi had his own guidance series, Sasuke had his own guidance series, Sakura had hers. So I think we just got different novelizations to see what Tamari was up to, or see what Tenten was up to, and make these characters feel more like the big three of their verse. Like, you know, feel more like Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi. You know what I'm saying? Like, just more fan favorites. You know? Especially with Rock Lee. Rock Lee definitely had more stuff. You know, her dad definitely played that role. Yeah. So I get it. My GOAT, you know, had a lot of help. I know more because I've defended Kishimoto against his argument, but I did not know this much detail. Like, it's a great video, man.